Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here for a very, very special occasion. I'm Glada Mudd, the Director of Athletics, and it just really warms my heart to see such an outpouring of fellowship here and tribute to Coach Mallon. I told Jane that yesterday my staff was out here washing down the statue and everything, and she said, "Thank goodness Jim finally got a bath." But I hope you enjoy your day on campus here. We have so many events. We have this small event going on here, this wonderful dedication. We have a softball scrimmage going. We have a women's lacrosse scrimmage going down there. We have a men's tennis match going. Dr. Berger wants to know what I'm doing in my free time, and so, but I'm delighted to introduce President Berger. I commented to someone recently that Dr. Berger went to more athletic events in 1 week than this other person's college president went in a year. And he has been a tremendous supporter of our student athletes and of our program. And he has brought such tremendous energy to Southwestern University. So please welcome President Ed Berger.
Thank you, Glada. Well, on behalf of the entire university, I want to welcome all of you back to your home where you belong, and then yell at you for not coming back more often. So I hope you learned your lesson. We're here to celebrate many, many things. The legacy of an individual who was so impactful on so many people's lives, an amazing All-American game, and the fellowship that brings us together that is Southwestern. And you really don't want me talking too much, especially about baseball. If you would have seen my record when I was playing Little League on the Rams, you would know, and if you had seen that record early on, you would have known that I was destined to be a nerdy math professor. So I'm not your boy here, but I do want to say that this morning I had a phone call with one of my closest friends in the world, a fellow by the name of Fay Vincent, who is the former commissioner of Major League Baseball. Some of you may have heard that name. And we talk regularly. He's a big fan of Southwestern University. He's actually a big fan of baseball at Southwestern University. And I told him about Coach Mallon, about the man, who unfortunately I never had the opportunity to meet personally, and about his record. And I told him the win-loss record, to which Fay Vincent kind of laughed and said, "Well, that's just wonderful." And then I told him about this event and how many people are going to come back, because the real win was the fact that he changed lives and moved individuals. To which Fay Vincent said, "Well, that's everything." So welcome to Southwestern University, and I'm delighted you're celebrating with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Berger. And it's true, he does know the former commissioner of Major League Baseball. That's a good connection. So, I was talking with Pat Leonard, and it was, I think, at our Hall of Fame ceremony, and our former athletic director, Dr. Carla Lowry, is here, and she was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And in there, Jody Conrad was here, and the University of Texas had just dedicated a statue to Jody Conrad, and I was commenting to Jody about that feat of having her own statue, and evidently that planted a seed with a couple of our guys that were there, and Pat Leonard and Danny Micken started getting their heads together, and amazing how the creative minds and all the thinking and the working together culminates in something really wonderful. And so, as I told Danny and Pat, they've done all the work on this, and this is their day, this is their time. And so, at this point, I would like to turn the program over always a scary thing for an athletic director. But I want to turn the program over to Pat and Danny here.
Dr. Berger, thank you for everything. It's very nice to have the support from somebody that we don't know very well yet, but I feel like going through this that we got to know each other. Dr. Munt, Coach Munt, Athletic Director Munt, I cannot say enough about you, your tireless effort in helping us get this done. Danny and I looked at this, we came up with the idea to pull this off, and you made it happen for us. Everybody that's out there that donated, that stepped forward in different ways, it's an honor. It was a pleasure to have all of you help us out. Danny and myself spent many late nights. You forgot to mention in Glada the couple of beers that we drank talking about this. There were some designs drawn on napkins. This is one of them. Wayne Weigelt, we thank you for your tireless effort in the construction phase of this. I don't know if any of y'all know this, but Wayne was instrumental in getting this done. We didn't really have a design or a plan, and we talked on the internet. A couple of phone calls later, came up with this idea, and he made it happen. Daryl Steffick, everything you did with us on the art side of the equation. Jane, I know it was a tough time when we were going through it, and I know that the day that you and I walked in and we saw the statue when it was close in the final preparations, and I know how that at that time it moved us. You had asked a question of me that day, and I think you probably remember it. Maybe you do. Of what would Jim say? We came up with a couple of things right off the cuff that we did not have enough money for the bulldozer that could have put him on. A 14-pound bass would not have gone well out here, I don't think. But, you had asked me that question, and I thought about that for a long time. I really did. I thought about it, and I've talked to a lot of people. And I think I finally came up with it. I think I did in classic Mallon fashion. Of all the things that he said, each and every one of us over time that we all remember, he had a way of saying things that were very simple, but they meant a lot. There was more to it. There was more meaning there. And I think that's what stuck with all of us. I think it really has, because you look around and all the phone calls I got of people who couldn't make it, that were apologizing. And we understand. I mean, it's life, and we're all going about our way, but there's been a lot of visits here to this statue just to take a peek of guys I know that are traveling through town, that come through, of people in the community, or what have you, phone calls, emails. We all get them. I know, Danny, you've gotten a lot of them. I can't thank you either enough, Danny, for your tireless effort in getting this done. I mean, it's unbelievable. But I was thinking, what would Coach say? And I've thought about it a lot. And I think if he was here today, he would walk up, he would take a look at the statue, and in his way, he would look at us all and go, I miss all of y'all too. And that's what I think he'd say. Guys, I appreciate it. Thank you to each and every one of you that's been a part of this. Dr. Crowley, Dr. Hilgeman, also, just thank you for your support, effort. Everyone. If I left somebody out, I apologize. Hopefully we'll see you tonight in Wahlberg at 7:30. And God bless all of you. God bless Southwestern University. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Pat. It's a real honor to be here. I'll tell you, when Danny and Mick asked me to do this, I thought that'd be great. It'd be an honor, and I thought it was going to be me and Danny and Coach Munt and maybe Brian Neal and 3 or 4 other people just having a conversation. And had I known that there were all these people going to come out here, I would have either declined the opportunity or probably prepared something. So, given that, I'll do my best. First of all, I'd like to say thanks to Coach Munt, Dr. Berger, Jim Mallon, to both Pat and Danny for all they've done, and everybody that's participated in this whole process. It's really a neat deal for as many people that Coach Mallon yelled at with vigor and fire. It's good to know that people realize that he was generally just mad at the result and not at you. So I'll tell a couple of quick stories. Coach Mallon, he hated to lose, he loved to win, but I think most of all he loved to compete. And he loved to compete at everything. We competed in practice. He competed. I played in a golf deal tournament with him several years ago, and it was a scramble tournament. In a scramble golf tournament, you can pick the best ball in every shot. And I'm playing with Jeff Livin and Coach Mallon, and Jeff Livin's a pretty good player, and I'm not so bad. And Coach Mallon hits a bad one, and I said, my gosh, he got the same curse words he had, 25 years ago. And anyway, it was fun, but we learned a lot from Coach Mallon. He was probably the most organized, most prepared guy that I ever met, and probably I think people walked away, having played for him for a few years, with those organizational skills and preparation. We didn't have the best team, the best players, the best talent. But I think just in about every case, we were the most prepared team that ever walked out there, no matter who we played. And at University of Texas, it didn't matter. We were very prepared, and Coach Mallon was obviously the force behind that. In fact, he was so prepared that, I don't know, you can look at this picture. One day I said, I guess it's probably my senior year, we get a little bolder as you get to be older. I said, Coach Mallon, are you wearing an athletic protector, or what we call a cup? And he looked at me and said, Scotty, I don't wear one. I don't watch a game on TV without putting one on. I said, now that's preparation. One other quick story, and I'll pass it on. Danny said, look, 3 or 4 minutes and get out of there. Coach Mallon didn't really like pitchers or freshmen. And his view on pitchers was kind of like an NFL coach on kickers. It's part of the game. You're not going to get rid of them, but God Almighty, if you could figure out a way to just eliminate part of the game, you would. And I think if he could figure out a way to not have pitching, it would just make his life a lot easier. But he never did figure that out. But freshmen, it was always a great thing. And freshmen are like teenage boys when they fall in love, their brain just doesn't work anymore. And so when you're a freshman in college, it doesn't matter how well you did in high school or how smart you were or what you made on the SAT or whatever, your brain just kind of goes away and you just kind of wander around. And Coach Mallon, it drove him crazy. So every year, beginning of the season, it happened every year. So my senior year, we're sitting in the dugouts. It's our second or third game of the season, and I think we had the bases loaded and didn't score any runs, and there was nothing worse than made him mad as having the bases loaded, nobody out, and not scoring a run. So Hoover popped up for the third out, threw his bat down, and Coach Mallon walked over and picked it up. And he used to sit on a bucket of golf balls, a bucket of batting practice balls during the game. And there was, I think it might have been Tommy Collins, or it might have been Jeff Giusti or somebody. And I looked over and I said, I'm really sorry about what's going to happen. What's getting ready to happen? He said, what do you mean? I said, listen, I'm just sorry. So Coach Mallon walks back and he drop kicks, he kicks the bucket of balls everywhere and says, hey, pick those up, to the first freshman he saw. Every year, he did it every year. So anyway, with that, I'll end it and tell everybody thank y'all for coming out. It's an honor to be here. And,
it is good to be here. I'm going to go a little different route. I'm having some problems with my business, computers and printers and stuff. So I started deleting a bunch of emails, and I ran across some stuff that Coach Mallon had emailed me through the years when I would send him pictures. He loved to hunt and fish. And I think through the years I kept up with him, and he kept up with my boys, and through hunting and fishing. And I got one that's still playing baseball, so he loved that too. But I would send him pictures, and he'd come back with just a remark every time, and it made me laugh, and I sent him some pictures that my boys were fishing below Lake LBJ on Marble Falls below the dam, and he'd send me back a reply. These pictures remind me of you, Jeff, and Bear. All you used to fish. Of course, you guys never caught anything. Mallon. And he'd always say, I knew it was from him, but he'd always use, it'd be Mallon at the end of it. Another one. My boys were both fishing right before Thanksgiving, and they just filled a truck up with a bunch of carp and stuff. and he sent me this email. He said, looks like you boys have already killed all the deer in South Texas, so now you're working on the fish. Happy holidays, Mallon. And then we sent him some pictures of the coast when we were fishing. Jeff and I go to the coast a lot living, and during the summer that's our vacation, and I sent him some pictures, and he goes, congratulations on the fishing trip. Be sure and drop some of those fillets at my house. I know your boys must have caught all the fish since you and Jeff can't fish a lick. Mallon. So, just endless. And then here's another one. I had sent him some pictures of my boys, and he said, always heard that good fishermen's families usually skip a generation. I guess that's what happened to you and Living. And then I was guiding some guys in South Texas one December about 5 years ago. And when you do that, you cook, you clean for these guys, you do this and everything. And I sort of sent a little picture out and sent an email. And of course, he was on the email, and he said, sounds like you're going to make someone a good wife. So, well, that's about it. I wanted to just share that was my fun, and I didn't delete those emails, by the way. I sent them to you, Jane. Thank y'all.
Hi, I'm Wayne White. I played here, graduated in '99. I didn't know what I was going to say when I came up here, but just wanted to kind of take a selfish approach and tell you what he meant to me. And the older I get, honestly, he means more to me. As my kids get older, and I start to think about, how I can raise them and things that I've learned, and all of it comes back in some way or another to this baseball field and this man right here. And it's like change, and you don't miss something or you don't appreciate it till it's gone. And that's what has affected me the most is I can't do the emails anymore. I can't call him anymore. I can't show up for the alumni game and tell me, he said, you're getting a little short in the power alleys, which I am. My hair is going away. It's all those stories combined. And I think about myself, my teammates. When you come to college, whether you had a dad at home or you didn't, all of a sudden he is that figure in your life. And we all called him coach to his face, but in the locker room and around everywhere else, he was daddy. And that's what he was to all of us for 4 years, and he has been that, and he still is that to me today. I'm glad we're able to build this for him and for all of us, and bring my kids here and tell them stories about him, and we all have a place that we can come and share memories. I just want to thank the Mallon family for sharing his time with us. I want to thank the university for everything you've done for me. I was a perfect young man when I came here. I don't know how you could have improved on that. It's just overwhelming the amount of people are here, and I think he might be a little upset of all of us doing this, but I think he would be proud and thankful, and like I said, I think he would say he loves us too. So, thank you.
I guess I'm the only one that wants to play ball today.
Maybe by yourself.
Maybe by myself. Okay, so everybody that played in Coach Mallon's program knows what it's like to win. But we don't all know what it's like to lose. And 1993 was probably the worst season of Coach Mallon's career. That year, Coach Mallon went through dialysis. He had kidney failure. He was going to get dialysis pretty much every day. We were doing the switch from D1 to D3. The team unity was probably at its worst. And to boot, there were a bunch of freshmen that wanted to pledge fraternities. So not only had they lost their mind, but Coach Mallon pretty much hated fraternities. So you put all that together, and it was a horrible year in which the Southwestern Pirates only won 7 games, and we lost 24. But Coach Mallon, being Coach Mallon, got his transplant, got healthy. You guys remember, I see a lot of nodding heads. He came back strong that next year, ready to refocus the team, ready to turn the ship around. And he did. He showed up with a big cardboard box. And he said, "Go get your shirts, guys." You guys remember what the shirt said? Robbie Dodd remembers. Buckball is a big deal. I even kind of said it like him. and he had a message. That was his message, and he wanted to make sure we got it, and we did. Over the next 3 years, he completely turned the program around. It wasn't without pain. I think he almost went bald right here from pulling that pen out and writing down player notes. And after the game, when he gathered us around, we all, were just shaking in our boots that it was going to be us. Here's one I got a lot. "Tommy, if you can't move the runner from second base with nobody out, hit the ball to right field, you bunt." There was usually some expletives in there. There were some post-game leapfrogs involved and all that. That was humiliating us in front of the other team. But hey, he whipped us back into shape. And by the time I graduated, we were conference champions, and it felt great. We were a team to be feared. So on the field, Coach Mallon was all business. And the perception that we had as players was that it wasn't a popularity contest. He didn't care if we loved him or hated him. He just wanted to win. That was how you felt as a player. And we respected that. And that motivated us. I think I'm a little choked up by what Wayne said. But what I took away from Southwestern University, playing with Coach Mallon, was not the winning attitude, it was the winning formula. It was structure and discipline, punctuality. How many of you guys saw somebody get sent home because they showed up 5 minutes late? That's it for today, Tommy. Constant self-assessment. That's what the pen and the paper was all about. Betterment. Every game. And for my story from 1993, as that should reflect, Coach Mallon was all about perseverance. So a lot of times I think, 1993, Coach Mallon, he's got health issues. He's got this weird D3, D1 thing going on. He's got a lot of new players, a lot of fraternities. He's already a storied Hall of Fame coach that's coached all these guys, and Mike Timlin and Mike Stanton. He'd already done it all. He was a Hall of Famer. Why did he have to hang around here? But Coach Mallon wasn't going to quit. No way. He wasn't going to get caught on that now. And it's a good thing he didn't, because if not, guys like Robbie Dodd and me and Wayne and Matt Gelati, Jeff Dyer, we never would have got to know. That's all I got.
Well, we kept that pretty clean. Good job. This was truly just a team effort. We had guys that hit grand slam home runs on donations. We had guys that got a bunt here and there, whatever. It was a team effort. I want to thank y'all all for that. I want to thank Mr. Jim Thomas. I know he's here. And Shelby Thomas and Brian Vincent. They were the guys that did the artwork and the sculpture. Great men to work with. Thank y'all very much. Want y'all all to feel welcome. Please come to Dell's later tonight. Just informal, more storytelling, whatever. Have hamburgers and have a good time. So we'll just move on with this, and I'd like to ask Jane and Shirley and Jared and Jeff come up, and as they unveil this, I'm going to read the plaque that's here, and that'll be it. Well, then Coach Thomas will come up. One thing I would like to say, I had a unique chance. I got to watch him coach. I got to play for him. I was coached by a coach. He coached. He coached my son. He coached my other son. I got to coach with him, with my sons, coach with him on Little League, and he's a friend of my wife and my daughter and my family. Thanks, Coach. Okay. Jim Mallon, Southwestern baseball coach, 1971 to 2004, with a record of 1197 and 601. I hope the kids who play for me learn more than how to hit the right field. I want them to have become a better person for having been in our program. I'm not always an easy person to play for, but if you play hard for me and do what's expected, well, I'm an easy person to play for. That's Coach.
Thanks, gentlemen, and I tell you, watching every step of this process has moved me to tears more than once. Daryl, I do have to tell you, I was the one that had to teach Coach Mallon how to use a computer. I'm still in therapy for that. And Wayne, you turned out pretty darn good. I have to thank you for so much of all the landscaping work and everything, but I promise you, he didn't show up here perfect. You're lucky I'm not telling stories on you. So, this is a tremendous thing for our baseball program, our current program, the current Pirates, and we are rebuilding the tradition of greatness here at Southwestern. And Coach R.J. Thomas is the man that's leading us, and I'd like to invite him up to thank all of you all and all of the donors on behalf of the baseball program.
They asked me to come up and close this thing out and count up all of these guys. I have no idea, but the most important thing they asked me to do is to tell you where to go to get lunch afterwards. So when this is done, we'll actually enter through those doors right there, and the food will be there for you to eat and continue the fellowship and the storytelling and everything else. They installed this statue this fall, and Coach Ingram and I happened to be working on the field that next Monday. They installed it over the weekend, and standing on the field running a rake, you just got this feeling that there was a figure on the hill overlooking it. And I can't say thank you enough to these guys for giving our team and our coaching staff a reminder every day when we leave the field of what Southwestern baseball is. It's not the wins and losses, although those are unbelievable. It's what Buck baseball is. It's the dedication, it's the details, it's the pride you take every day when you leave that field. And this man he's the embodiment of what Buck baseball is, of what every one of us strive every day to be, and what every guy that's standing back behind me, the challenge that they've accepted by coming here, by being Pirates, that it's that pride. And that's what we're getting back to. We will rebuild and we will get going in the right direction. And again, I can't promise wins and losses, but I can promise every day we step on that field, those guys are going to compete. They're going to work hard, they're going to do it the right way, and they're going to make everybody here proud. As proud as we are to stand here next to this man and everything that he meant to us. Guys, I can't say thank you enough, and everybody here, and the support for this program is overwhelming. From an outside guy coming in, how welcome I felt from the moment I stepped on campus. This program is something special, and we'll get it back there. thank you guys so much for coming out. Please take the time to take your time with the statue, and when you're ready to eat, the food will be there for you. Thank you very much.
Very nice.